When working with home buyers across the Greater Toronto area, the number one question that always comes up is, Rob, when is the best time to buy? It's not the hot spring market. It is not the hot fall market. In my opinion, it is the winter months, kind of that end of November to middle of January stretch when a lot of home buyers pack it in for the holidays. In this video, I'm going to highlight the markets that you should be targeting if you are looking to buy a home in the next few months. And even if you're not, I think the data that I'm going to present in this video is pretty interesting to illustrate what is happening in the GTA market right now. So stick with me right through to the end. This video, it's going to be 4 charts, and this is chart number 1. It is reported freehold sales. We're talking about the freehold market right now. If you're interested in buying condos, you really have your pick of the litter right across the board. There's a ton of inventory in Toronto, a ton of inventory in York region and Peel region as well. So this is not for the condo buyer. I'm sorry. This is for freehold buyers. First chart here, reported freehold sales since September 1st. So Brampton has been the most active market, and that's assuming we break Toronto down into the east, west, and central quadrants. But you can see Brampton over 1,100 freehold sales since the beginning of September. The Toronto market's anywhere between just shy of 900 to just shy of 1,100 sales. Then you have Mississauga coming in 4th place at 794. We've got York region represented with Vaughan and Markham at 529 and 510 sales. Then we've got Halton region coming in with Oakville at 488 sales. And Oshawa kind of rounds out our regions and our municipalities that have seen over 400 sales. That's Durham region standing strong here with 452 sales since the beginning of September. When you look at that list and you go all the way down to places like Brock, Uxbridge, Essa, King, where you had less than 70 sales since the start of September, you really need to factor in how big these towns are. So this next chart, I think, is a better indication of how active these markets really are relative to household totals. And that's taking a look at things as reported freehold sales per 1,000 households since September 1st, 2025. This is all based on Stats Canada and Census Canada data from the 2021 census. So Innisfil and Scugog, by size, being the two most active markets, you're seeing just over 10 and a half sales per 1,000 households. You have Brock coming in at just shy of 10, and Georgina, Stouffville, East Gwillimbury all around that 9 mark. Then you get down to a Clarington, Orangeville, Bradford. That's all between that 8 and 9 mark. And then the rest of everything, you can see that Brampton clocks in a little bit lower on this chart, just over 6 sales per 1,000 households. Toronto, I lumped them all together for this chart, way down here at 2.55. So I think these are 2 important metrics to look at as you're a buyer. The higher this number is, kind of the more turnover and more maybe liquidity there's in that market, maybe more chance of making a purchase in those markets. But you don't just want to look at sales activity when making a decision to buy a home. First off, you want to make sure your finances are solid at home. You can afford to make the purchase, because really the best time to buy is when you are ready to buy. But again, looking at things from this lens of per 1,000 households, I think it really breaks down what markets are moving relative to the size of those towns. Some other big popular options lately, Clarington, like I said, up here at just over 8.5 sales per 1,000. In Durham region, you've got Whitby coming in down here at just about 7.2 sales per 1,000. Oshawa down at 6.8 sales per 1,000. Ajax down here at 5.93. Pickering at 6.94. Going back to this chart, you look at a place like Oshawa with 452 sales. That ranks 9th in total sales since September 1st. When you break it down by 1,000 households, it comes down ranked here at 20th out of all these markets that we're looking at about 6.8 sales per 1,000 households. And that's a great indication as to why total sales numbers are a bit too surface level. You need to look a little bit deeper, look at the per household or per 1,000 household number when you're trying to determine how active a market really is. Before we go any further, there's one other concerning trend that I see popping up, and it's that about 80% of you that watched my last video were not subscribed to the channel. So very quickly right now, hit the subscribe button and say hi to our guest appearance right here. We got Maya in the background. She's right over here lying on the couch. It's my in-law's dog. We're watching her for a little bit of time. So say hi, Maya, in the comments and subscribe to the channel. Back to the numbers, and the one number that most people focus on when they're looking at areas, because it all comes down to budget, is what is the median sale price of a freehold property, or the average sale price in that area. So I've ranked all these different regions here as well. King, a very small market, less than 70 sales since September 1st of this year. Their median sale price came in at just over 2.25 million. The least expensive market that we see per these Treb Market Watch areas is Brock, down here at $562,000. But I don't think you can just look at sales activity and median sale prices to make your decision. It's going to be kind of a aggregate or taking all this data together that's going to really drive where maybe the best value is, the best chance to get a good deal, the best chance to actually just make a purchase in the next couple months across the GTA. Back over here, you have places like Oshawa coming in at about $711,000 is the median sale price in November so far. Clarington a little more than that at $735,000. You've got places like Innisfil at $760,000, Georgina, which is just kind of the northern point of York region at $775,000. Then all the way back up to our luxury markets, your Oakville, Toronto Central, where you have bigger homes selling, dragging this median price point up, where those are around $1.4 to $1.5 million for the median price point. I encourage you to go back in the video and pause on these charts so that you can get a better idea of where all the towns rank in the GTA in terms of sales activity, in terms of median price point, all these numbers. The last fact that I want to consider is the percentage of freehold sales that are occurring for under the actual asking price. And these numbers are astronomical relative to what we were seeing back in the kind of hot markets of late 2020 through early 2022. But you can see that the median town here is Mississauga coming in, and you're seeing almost 80% of sales happening under the asking price. And this means a couple things. It means that sellers are not opting to go for the offer night strategy as much. There's probably some buyer fatigue there. Nobody wants to be part of these bidding wars. That's what I'm hearing all the time. We want to avoid bidding wars. So people are maybe pricing a little more sharply above expectation and selling for below. Uxbridge coming in at almost 90%. Aurora up in York region coming in at 87%. Oakville coming in at over 80%. In Durham region, Whitby at about 70%. Pickering at about 68%. Ajax at about 67%. Even Oshawa down here at about 66%. So the majority of homes that you were seeing are now going to be priced a little bit more realistically right across the board, but maybe trying to target areas that have a higher ratio of property selling under asking. When you're looking at listing prices in those areas as a buyer, chances are that the expectation is somewhere in and around the asking price. If you have questions about property specifically, never hesitate to reach out though. I'll let you know if it's an offer night or if it's a true list price. So when you factor everything that I just talked about into the equation, I'm going to sound like a bit of a homer in saying this because I am based out here in Durham region, but I feel like over the next couple months, Durham region will provide some of the best opportunities for buyers to maybe get deals, get purchases happening, because the median price point is relatively low for freehold properties compared to the rest of the GTA. You're still seeing properties selling below that asking price 66-67% of the time at a minimum, up to when Uxbridge goes up closer to 90% if you're looking in those areas. But in terms of factoring in that the commute to Toronto isn't terrible out here as much as it would be from something like an Innisfil or something like an Orangeville, it's not as bad when you factor in sales activity that's happening. It's still pretty active out this way relative to households. The median price point is a bit lower than everywhere else in the GTA, and you're often seeing properties selling for less than the asking price. If I was to throw out a dark horse pick into this, if you're looking truly for affordability, I think Innisfil is a market that you might want to tap into. Yes, it's a little bit further away, but there are big plans for transit infrastructure going in to Innisfil in the next few years that could make that commute a little bit easier if you need to get into the city more often. And again, even when it comes to amenities, you have Barrie not too far away from Innisfil, and Innisfil itself is doing some really nice things in terms of amenities. So again, my top 5 would probably be your Clarington, Oshawa, Whitby, Ajax, Pickering. Give me a call if you're looking in these areas. It's an area that I love to service. And if you're looking for that dark horse pick, maybe Innisfil is an area that you want to explore a little bit. I hesitated to put this video out here even because it comes off as a little bit too salesy. I don't like to do that stuff. I like to provide the data and the number. But if I can provide data that kind of backs up the fact that I truly feel like Durham region is kind of the best opportunity region still over the next couple months, I'm happy to do so. So give me a call if you're looking or need some help with a move out in Durham region. I'm always happy to help out. If you have questions about any of these other areas, I've got great colleagues all over the GTA that would be happy to help out as well. Let me know in the comments what you're looking for in videos going forward. I love putting these things out, and I'm happy that this is week number 2 in a row, getting back on that train of bringing you value every single week. Thanks so much for sticking with me right to the end of this video. Till we speak again next time, stay safe and cheers.